Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Okay guys, we've got a couple of champion buffs. It's going to be one legendary and one mythical champion up for grabs in terms of the buffs this month. I guess it's going in with the next patch. I don't actually have a date here for anything that's going in, but we're due a patch real soon, so I'd imagine it's going to be then. Just before we get to it, we are having, as of tomorrow, a free regear day. So basically saying here, this Wednesday, June 25th, we're launching a free regear removal, reducing the amount of silver it takes by 100%. And it's going to last actually for 96 hours. So yeah, that's pretty good, pretty cool. As we've said a lot of times recently, like it just feels like that's how it should be in the game now. So it's good that they're trying to address it. And hopefully with this patch, maybe we're going to get the full new source free regear stuff. Okay, let's have a look then. Two champions. First one is in the Odwin tribes. It's going to be Diamant. Actually got a couple of this champ myself. And I remember the underwhelming feeling when I picked my second one up. I was like, damn, I did not want a second one. Good speed on this guy. Good stats for a support. We've got an AoE with a heal. An okay heal, but not brilliant on his A1. So you can get up to 7%. Or actually get 5% plus a bit more for each buff on this champion. This is actually a pretty good A1 in fairness. A2 increases allies buffs. Fills champion's turn meter. Get a bit more turn meter for each duration increased. And then the A3, 3 intercept stacks on one target. Resistance and strength. And I think this is probably his challenge right now is like, this is for one target and this is an okay set of buffs, but it's not a great set of buffs for your team. And then here's passive, 50% chance to convert a debuff into a buff before it's placed just on him. This is the big problem here. He's not supporting his team. He's meant to be a support, but he's just supporting himself. He doesn't need the crit rate and all that type of stuff. He's a support. So that's his biggest problem. And then we get speed in all battles. So let's see what they're going to do with this guy, because this is going to be an interesting one. Like, as I say, his kit, it's not bad. It's just underwhelming compared to other Void legendaries nowadays. So let's pick up the changes here. Literally only a couple of changes, actually. So on his charitable donation, which is the A2, he's basically getting fills the turn meter of all allies by 20%. So instead of 10, and then a conditional additional buff, you're basically getting a straight 20. It's not a crazy good change, but it's also not a bad change. And then we've got the passive here. So basically, this is pretty interesting, actually. So has a 50% chance to convert a debuff into a buff before it is placed on an ally. Straight up 50-50. If you're getting a decrease attack, you've got 50-50 as to whether that turns into an increase attack. And that goes for all of these debuffs. So decrease attack, decrease defense, decrease speed, decrease crit rate, and decrease crit damage. All of them could be flipped on a 50-50. It's definitely interesting now. It's definitely interesting. I wish that, I don't know, the rest of his kit is decent. Decent healing. Now more turn meter. As I say, these buffs are not crazy good, but they're not terrible either. And then if you've got a 50-50 to flip debuffs into buffs, I don't know, actually feels kind of solid now, I think. Okay, let me know what you think about that one. And then the second one is a mythical, one of the early ones they released, actually, Androc. I do not have him myself. He's the lion. Damn cool rug on his back here. Pretty sweet. Flips into the support form, where he goes like full lion face. Okay, so what's going on here? Androc the Glorious. Let's zoom in a bit and see what's going down. Form 1 then. So we've got places increased defense on all allies for a turn. He's getting more damage on his first hit. Second skill, he does increase resistance and strengthen and heals. Places additional continuous heals on all allies if they've got low health. Now he's given a turn meter fill as well. 15%. So it becomes like a C-fee turn meter fill here, which I think is pretty solid. Pretty good change. And then we got for the passive, increases each ally's resistance by 10 for each buff on all allies. So, I mean, that's a massive change in terms of the amount of resistance you get. So instead, if you've got a team of like 5 going off, If it's just you, you might get like a 30 or 40 resistance boost. If it's your whole team, that's now a 200 resistance boost. So that's actually massive. That's a massive change. Critical hits inflicted by allies fill the turn meter of all allies by 5%. If there are multiple champions, you only get it once. So pretty massive change actually in the amount of resistance you can build out. And on his second form, again, we've got damage increase across the board. That's going to be pretty interesting to see what that's like. I don't have this guy, so I don't know if he's a crazy hitter as it is. We can check on hellhades.com actually and just take a look. Just interesting to see where they are before they do these damage boosts. Mainly form 2 we want to look at. Like form 1, we've got strong, and then there's no other multipliers. So strong is actually, it's above 50% in the game, but it's pretty low. We're talking like, you know, there's over 1,000 people with stronger hits than these skills. So that's, for a mythical, pretty damn shocking. And at the moment, damn, his hits are weak. Like, his damage is low, especially for a mythical. So yeah, this guy badly needs like huge damage boost. Okay, so interesting to see how much they go with this. He is basically a support, so you know, there's also a sense of should he be hitting like an absolute freight train, but we'll see what they do. So the A2 attacks all enemies, places decreased resistance. It's kind of like the opposite of what you're doing for you. Decrease resistance, weaken, and enfeeble for all on all enemies for 2 turns. Also decreases the turn meter of enemies by 15%. So we get a pushback of turn meter plus 3 debuffs, which are okay debuffs, but not crazy good. Enfeeble obviously is good, but then they kind of nerf what this did. And then for the A3, full cleanse of buffs from the enemies, then attacks all enemies. And if it's a boss, the damage inflicted is equal to 10% of their max HP. So the boss damage is now a max HP hit. What was it before? Deals pure damage to each enemy equal to 5% of the target's max HP for each buff removed. So basically I turned it into an AoE smack with a enemy max HP hit for a boss. What do you think of this? Puts block buffs on all enemies as well. And then we've got the passive here. Increases each ally's accuracy by 10 for each buff on all enemies. So he can get a massive accuracy boost before he does the full cleanse of the enemies, which is pretty cool. But then as soon as he's done that cleanse of buffs from enemies, you're going to lose all of that accuracy from your team. And then he gets turn meter fill for crits here as well from your team. It's an interesting one. He gets an extra 5 speed as well. I mean, he's basically the support that's to set up your team, right? So he's not meant to be the damage dealer, but to be a support setting up your team and doing enemy max HP, it's now interesting at least. Again, let me know what you think. If you got him, are you excited for the changes? But yeah, I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you soon.